If you told Yvonne from 7 years ago that this is what I'd be doing, like to eat, I'd say shut up.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know if I want to get into it.
Hi, Bessie.
Hi, today on BTS we host a creative, a businesswoman, a thought leader, and the founder of IKOJN Africa. Ladies and gents, the iconic Cris Njoki.
Hey girl. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
Oh my God, already I feel like Beyonce. Do you know we share a birthday, guys?
I'm very excited.
My mouth got me in trouble a lot of the times, you know, I'm a bit of a chatterbox. I always used to be the only noisemaker when the teacher comes, and I'm just like, how am I the only noisemaker on the list? Who was I talking to when I was talking by myself?
So I found out the other day that people actually do that.
I feel like so many things could go wrong, and so let's look for always the things that could go right, you know? You know, it's not something I talk about a lot, but I actually lost my paternal mother when I was young, when I was about 7.
Guys, hear me and hear me. This is the last time I'm saying it.
Hi, Cris.
Hey girl.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to the seat.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
How is your day?
My day was long. I had a very early morning because I needed to go to the gym. And then there was so much traffic on my way here because of the rain, you know, Nairobi. But otherwise good. How was your day?
My day was busy.
Yeah?
I had installs back to back.
Wow. Okay. How many did you do today?
5.
5 installs.
Yes.
So fun fact, I've actually never had anyone do a wig install on me. It's my first time.
Is there a reason for not doing it?
To be honest, I'm just like very lazy. Because I just assume it's going to take a long time and then I'm going to take it out when I go home anyways. So I'm just like,
But you don't always have to take it off in the evening. Do you sleep in wigs?
No, I don't. So I found out the other day that people actually do that. It's shocking to me. I feel like there's a hat on my head.
Do you wear wigs yourself?
I do.
What's your go-to style?
So my go-to most times is like a middle part and then straight down the sides. But then recently, I've really been feeling a side part and then a more full, sort of like, not curly, but definitely more bouncy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Color?
Black always.
Man, we're going to do something different.
Take it away.
I'm hoping it's
I trust
different
you.
in a good way.
Yeah, I trust you. Definitely, I know I should explore with more color, but I'm lazy. I'm just like,
So today we're going to do something with color.
Okay.
I'm really hoping you like it.
I'm actually excited. Oh my gosh, you should know. Before I got here, I was like, I wonder what she's gonna pick for me. But I didn't want to ask. I wanted to be surprised. Oh my God, already I feel like Beyonce. Do you know we share a birthday, guys? Look at this. I knew it. I knew I could trust you. So yeah, this might be the first wig I don't take out before I go to bed, actually. This might be it.
So, who is Cris? Who is Njoki?
So who is Cris Njoki? I feel like I'm an optimist. Cris is an optimist. You know, I'm always looking for the silver lining. Some would say like I'm always like bubbly, happy, all of that. But to me, it's not really being happy. It's just I feel like so many things could go wrong, and so let's look for always the things that could go right. You know. But other than that, Cris is an entrepreneur. I run a fashion brand, a made in Kenya fashion brand that's made by women for women. I'm also a creator. I love sharing my experience, just my life experience, because I feel like I've lived, you know, quite a long life, and I just like being able to tell that in my stories, tell that even in the brand I'm building with the women we're building it with. But yeah, in a nutshell, I'd say that's Cris. Yeah.
And how was your life growing up? How would you describe your childhood to where you are right now?
My life growing up, let's see. I'd say definitely I wouldn't say a problem child, but my mouth got me in trouble a lot of the times. You know, I'm a bit of a chatterbox. What I'd say is also, I think growing up, I got a lot of responsibility early on at a young age because it's not something I talk about a lot, but I actually lost my paternal mother when I was young, when I was about 7. And, it brought me and my dad a lot closer. But then I also now felt this urge to be responsible for my younger sister. And that I think really, first of all, brought me and my dad close together. But it also made me feel like, okay, I can be trusted with responsibility. I can take charge and do these things and take care of my sis and get stuff done. And I think that really shaped who I am now. But then, even so, growing up, it didn't stop me from, speaking my mind and just going for the things I want. But I think a lot of my discipline comes from that, I remember in school, I always used to get in trouble for talking a lot. I always used to be the only noisemaker when the teacher comes. And I'm just like, how am I the only noisemaker on the list? Who was I talking to when I was talking by myself? But that would land me in a lot of trouble. Most of the times I'd be out doing punishments than actually in school studying. So I don't even know how I was able to finish high school. But we made it. And yeah, I think honestly, I had such a fun time growing up, I had lots of friends. For me, it was really easy to make friends. And so, yeah, I think when I look back at my childhood, it was a fun time. Yeah.
And growing up, did you want to be in business, or that just came about?
No, I think so. Growing up, what happened? I remember when I was about 13, maybe 14-ish, I found a suitcase of my mom's old clothes, from the 80s. And I remember that for me was I felt like I found treasure. Honestly, it felt like gold. Because I remember there were all these bright colors like greens and purples and sequins. And I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. So what I used to do, I used to pick the dresses and I'd alter them to fit me, and I'd wear that for church. Because now church was my time to just shine, So I used to, because they were very old school, so I used to cut the sleeves short. I make them kidogo shorter. I add a kadogo slit. I do it by hand. And then now Sunday, that's like my runway, and I'm over there showing off my clothes. So I wouldn't say I wanted to be in business, but I definitely had an eye for fashion and for looking good and dressing well. And that's something that even now went on to even after I finished high school, to where I was so worried. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in school. I remember I was really good in math and sciences. And actually, my parents thought that I would be something along those lines, like in science or in math. But I just really had this creative, outlet. I remember I got my first sewing machine. I think I was around that 13, 14. And at the time, I didn't know, even when I finished high school, I didn't know that fashion was an option for school. I remember even when I told, when my dad was asking me, what do you want to do in school? Honestly, I had no clue. And he was like, why don't you go tailoring? You're always shonaing in your room all the time. I was like, okay, let me go look for a tailoring school. So I went looking in Kenya Polytechnic, looked around, but then stumbled upon this fashion school.
And it was nice, but I remember I was only there for 1 semester, because when I was there, a better one opened up and I went to this better one. And they had all this new machinery. They had all these Vogue magazines. Honestly, I was blinded. So I told my dad, yeah, I think I found the school of my dreams. And then I just moved there. And that's where I did my studies in fashion. And I think that's why it really opened up the idea of having fashion as a business. Because for me, I was looking at it was like a hobby. I really enjoyed it. But when I went in there, we learned about the business of fashion, how to grow a brand, all of that. And I think that's why I really made the decision to start IKOJN, Yeah, which I still didn't do. Until, because after I finished school, I didn't go immediately into starting IKOJN. That's when I started my thrifting business. But then eventually I was able to start IKOJN. Yeah.
Which school did you go to?
So it's called Markensall School of Fashion. It's still there to date. We actually have some interns who are from that school who are at IKOJN at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what made you start IKOJN?
Okay, so I think when I was in school, that's when the dream of starting IKOJN really came. And I remember when I did my internship, I did it with a couple of designers. At the time, that was a long time ago, guys. That was like, hey, I think almost like 18 years. Okay, now I'm saying my age, but that was like almost 20 years ago, you know? 20 years ago, that makes me, okay, not 20, maybe like 18, maybe like 15-ish. And I remember I was interning because I was looking around at designers and I was looking at the scope basically in Kenya. And, you know, all the designers at the time were doing custom made and very expensive, premium. And I didn't understand why, because I'm like, okay, so who's serving Kina us guys who just want cute things, but then we want it made in Kenya? And I think that's the moment I realized, okay, fine, I'm going to make sure that I start a brand that is made in Kenya and it's ready to wear, right? Oh, Lord Jesus. You're distracting me. This is so pretty. Wow. Guys. Now I've lost track of my story.
You're talking about, what are you talking about?
You see, even you can't. It's so good.
I'm talking about,
How I started IKOJN, right?
yes.
So I remember at the time I was looking around, I'm like, no one is serving the everyday woman who wants to look nice, wants to look cute, wants to look great, powerful, feel beautiful in the clothes made in Kenya. And that's when I said, okay, fine, I'm going to be the one to start that brand. But before I even got there, I knew I needed money to start this brand. And I didn't have any capital. The thing with ready to wear is it's very capital intensive because you can imagine you are producing a couple of SKUs in different MOQs. You need at least like a hefty amount of capital to be able to do that before you sell. And so I started a thrifting business. And I remember the first time I went thrifting, it was not my intention to actually raise money through thrifting. I just used to go shopping because, you know, at that time, I didn't have money. You know, like everyone in school, you don't have money for clothing. And I remember I had Tusok. I used to go shopping for my clothes with Tusok in IKOJN. And so I went with my Tusok that day. And I remember just looking around and seeing, oh my gosh, there's so many cute things that maybe they may not be my style, probably not my size. But I feel like if I bought these, I could be able to sell to other women. And so I remember I bought 4 dresses with 200 bob. Each was 50 bob. And I went back home and I borrowed my mom's camera and I took some pictures in my room and I posted them on Facebook. And literally by the next day, I'd sold each dress for 800 bob. And I looked at that and I was like, you mean my 200 can make me 3,200 in less than 24 hours? So that's when the thrifting business began, you know. Took that money, went, reinvested it. And I always tell this story. For me, IKOJN started with that 200 bob, you know, because that's now what set the ball rolling to raise money to then now be able to start the IKOJN brand. And then everything else happened after that. So I think I did the thrifting for about a year and a half. And after I'd saved up enough money, I looked around, I couldn't find anybody to produce my IKOJN brand in Kenya. And so I went to China because that's where all production was happening. It's all in China. I go to China, mind you, this is like, again, 15 years ago. I go to China. Nowhere in my mind had I thought that in China you can't just do 10 pieces or 20 pieces. In my head I was like, yeah, this is my design. I would do for me 15 over here, 10 over here, you know. But I went there and shock on me. It was like the minimum order quantities were so large. I think I was getting guys telling me for one style they can only do 10,000 pieces, 5,000 pieces. Of course, I don't have that kind of money. So I remember I really had to look up and down. Eventually, I think on the second last day before leaving, I was in the outskirts. I had to not drive, but like I got a cab to drive me almost 4 hours away from the city. And then I found a manufacturer there, small place. And they were able to do MOQs of like 400, which was still a lot to me because I had 6 styles, 400 per style. That's already 2,400 pieces. Mind you, no one knows IKOJN. That's 15 years ago. I didn't even have like an Instagram page. I had no website, nothing. I didn't even have anywhere to sell. But I just put my faith did the deposit. I was like, it's okay. Then they told me, in 1 month, your product will be ready. We'll ship it to you in Kenya. I was like, easy. We had agreed on everything, fabrics, finishes. Like, actually, I had trust that they would deliver what they said. So I come back home. A month later, they tell me your product is ready, pay up the deposit, and your product will be shipped to you. So I think I got it maybe a day or two after that. And I remember that day very clearly. It was a Saturday. I was at home and the shipment came. It was a huge box. And I was so excited because I was like, okay, this is the beginning of my biashara. I opened that box and I remember I took out the first item and it was completely different from what we had agreed. The fabric was so terrible. It felt like plastic. The zippers were over here getting stuck. They were not even shiny. They looked like, it was bad. It was bad. And I looked at that and I was like, I can't have the first like reflection of my business with this kind of product. And I remember that day I cried. I cried so much. And my mom, you know, in the midst of my crying, literally snot running everything. She was like, okay, I know this is unfortunate. You've lost all your savings. Because that's it. I'd lost all that hustling I did for a year and a half in Gikosh had all gone down the drain, right? My mom saw me crying, right? Because I'm devastated. All of my savings down the drain. This person I trusted to produce my brand just did such a whack job and basically stole all my money. And she looked at me and she was like, okay, you know what? Things happen, bad things happen, and it's happened to you, whoop-de-doo, but I'm gonna give you this weekend to cry. Lia yote kutoke. By Monday, urudi to your mission. And literally that's what I did. I cried the entire weekend. My eyes were red, puffy, everything. But I told myself, look, I made this decision and, you know, there's a reason why I was given the skills I was given, why I have this drive and passion that I have. And I'm going to do it whether or not this one person failed me, you know. And to be honest, like if there's one time I was so sure I was going to not even have IKOJN or to close down and give up on my dream, it was that time, you know. And even now, it's been 10 years, we just turned 10 this year. And, you know, I look back and I'm like, have there been moments when I've wanted to just give up? Never as bad as that time. Like, never as bad as that first day. And I look, even when the bad things happen now, I look back and I'm like, if I could get over that stupidity on that first day, we're good. I'm like, you're coming with this problem, we're good. Bring your worst. You know, but yeah, that's basically how I started IKOJN.
What were some of the challenges in the beginning, apart from your supplies? First, what did you do with that stock?
Hey, so that stock stayed with me. I think we eventually gave away our last, maybe like on our 7th year. Because now what I decided is, okay, fine. I can't sell it, at least not initially. So I'd come with some fabrics from my trip. So what I did is I just came up with a whole new collection by myself. I stitched it myself, did the photo shoot myself. I remember I even used my sister and her friend as the models. I was a photographer, you know, the whole work. And I was able to now share that with everybody I knew in the industry. So I was over there just cold calling, sending emails. And luckily, now everyone at that time, and I think everyone who started a business, you'll hear no a lot. Everyone was saying no, 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 no. You know, and I was just like, yeah, not today, whatever. But then luckily one person in the industry, and honestly I owe a lot to her, but she saw the collection and she saw one specific piece that she really liked. And she told me, look, I usually charge designers for this, but you know, you're starting out, you're a young designer made in Kenya, so I'm going to feature you in my publication for free. And you should have seen me here that time. I was like, oh my God, I was over the moon. And so I remember I made it in her size. I sent it to her, handwritten note, everything. And she ended up publishing it, you know. She was doing like this fashion sort of spread. And she published it. And I remember her giving me a call saying, yo, this top, people love it so much. They actually want to know how many pieces you are. Can they buy it? You know, people, you actually have customers who are interested. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So she sends me like a list of the sizes she wants me to make. Again, I did them myself, sent them over, and she sold them, I think, in less than 24 hours again. And I was like, oh my God. And literally, she sent more orders, Evo. And to be honest, like, I feel like now that's how IKOJN actually started, you know? Like, and so I totally forgot about those pieces. So I think as the brand progressed, I was like, okay, maybe let's try and give back. Okay, so we'd partner with a lot of charities. If there's girls maybe who are in vulnerable positions, we'd go and see them, and then we'd offer now some of the product. To be honest, it wasn't a bad product. It just wasn't the kind of product I wanted
To put out.
in the market as the first impression, you know? I'm a bit of a perfectionist in that area. And so for me, I'm like, I can't let that be the first impression. And so we gave a majority of that product we gave them out. And it took us 7 years, you know, it was a lot of it. So we do it in small batches, go to different places, you know. Some of my friends would come and see it, they'd take some for themselves. Sometimes we'd even run like, what do you call it, giveaways, you know. So like if we tell our customers for every purchase you get a free gift, so we give it as a free gift, you know. But yeah, eventually that's what we did. And I now had to build manufacturing myself. And that's actually what led us to Made in Kenya. My plan was not Made in Kenya. It was more of like, yes, have a Kenyan brand, but then make it elsewhere. But I think that entire mishap now directed me into Made in Kenya. So I had to grow a team from scratch. I remember I got one girl who I taught everything I knew from fashion school. And then she sort of became my number two, and it was just the 12 of us for maybe about 6 months. And then we got somebody else who then she trained and I helped. And then pole we started building the brand, and right now we're at almost 40 women.
Wow.
You know, producing Made in Kenya. And I think it's been such a beautiful journey, even for me, watching these girls grow, because a lot of them didn't have the sort of education I did. They didn't have that chance to go to school and study fashion. But you could tell they had that passion in them. They had an interest. They really wanted to learn how to sew. And so for me, it became bigger than just clothes, you know. It became a chance to make an impact to women who didn't have the means, but then they had also that passion and vision. Plus, also for me, it's like I'm empowering you with a skill that you're going to have for life, you know. If any of these ladies were to leave IKOJN, they can go and start their own businesses, which is actually something we're doing with them right now. So they're able to save up money right now, buy their own machinery, have their own small businesses that they run from home. And I'm able to teach them small things like pricing or like how to get customers, stuff like that. And that for me is like such a source of joy, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just love clothes, but I love that I'm able to also show you guys how to like make more for yourself, you know? And I truly believe that when you empower a woman, you empower the community and you empower the world, you know? So that's become sort of like a greater vision for me and IKOJN.
Interesting. You now have your own production.
Yes.
How is that? And what's usually the process when you have a design and taking it to production?
So it's tough, not gonna lie. It's tough. I feel like there's two parts of the brand. There's what people see, you know, online, photo shoots, and the good products, and the dresses, and the modeling. There's that part that guys see. But then there's this other part now, which is the actual production, you know, with the fundis and that stuff is tough because, you know, we're basically in a market that is not very regulated as well. So if you think about in Kenya, we don't have like a Kenyan or African size chart. Small things like that. Like we sort of have to still borrow from the West. But knowing full well that our bodies are different,
True.
you know? So you're finding we have to sort of like formulate our own things as we go. We have to sort of formulate our own SOPs, our own standard operating procedures. So it's a learning process. But generally, I'd say what happens in-house is first we'll think of, okay, because we'll have a calendar. First, we'll look at, okay, what's happening around us? Because we have to be cognizant of our consumer. You just don't produce and then just force these people to buy it. You need to be giving them something that they need at that time. So we look at their needs, we see where we are in that in the time of the year, and then now the design team starts off with a concept. We look at what's the theme? What theme are we sort of playing around with? What are the colors? And from there, we'll design the pieces, look for the fabric, just make it cohesive. Once that happens, of course, now the patterns are made, and then now everything goes into production. So production is where they'll do the stitching, the finishing, quality control, all of it. And then it goes straight into inventory. After it goes into inventory, we have different inventory. So you have like the online website inventory. So like these are for website sales. And then you have the store inventory. For store inventory, currently we have 3 stores and 3 stockists. So we have Yaya Center, Imara Mall, Greenhouse Mall. And then we're stocked in, what's this called? South Sudan, we're stocked in Ghana, and we're stocked also at Social House. And so there's all these different things to sort of like look at. But yeah, once a product is there, then it's shipped off depending on also the area and the need for that place. And then from there, we go into the marketing and the selling, and clients are able to come in, fit, try. We get a lot of feedback as well, because for me, I truly believe you cannot make changes or positive changes in your business if you don't listen to the feedback of your customer. You know, it's one thing to offer a service or a product, but you also need to know how it's being accepted. Are you meeting the needs of your clients? If you're not, what changes can you make? You know? So I'd say that's holistically, that's the process. And then we do it all over again.
So as an artist, was it easy you giving up? You said you have a design team.
Yes.
Letting go of you, because at the inception, you're the one doing the design.
Yes.
How was the transition to you letting go of that?
Girl, there's no transition. I'm still part of the design team. I am the head of the design team. Yeah, I think there's some, truly I've seen there's some parts of the business that I cannot let go of completely. So there's some things that, okay, fine, I can let other people handle and I let them shine. But there's things that are such a core part of the brand to where if I let go of it, it stops being IKOJN, you know? And so I'm definitely part of the design team. I am the head of the design team. I definitely make, we all make the decisions, but I'm the one who okays the final, you know? Nothing can happen until I say okay. And then, you know, of course, I'll also be part of the marketing and part of, you know, the styling. I think for me, it's more of like a product, because for me, it's like, I know no one will see or no one knows truly the vision I have for the brand more than I do. You know, I'll try and like train and explain and, you know, I'll try my best, but in my mind, I'm the one who can see the end, you know? And so I need to make sure I'm part of that process through. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you faced growing?
Growing the business?
Yes.
I think for me, one of the biggest ones is hiring, you know? Yeah. Getting to find people who, first of all, understand what it is I'm trying to do, and then also become obsessed with it, even if not more obsessed than me, but similarly, you know? Finding people who are like, okay, you know what, this is what we're doing, Cris, umeniambia, now let's just go. That for me is really difficult. And I think as a small business owner, a lot of times you will hire from vibes, you know, because you're just like, just with that, they feel like they're just so nice, Nini. But then over time you realize sometimes vibes there'll be nice vibes there, but then they don't follow through, you know? And so that's been a really tough one. I can't say we've nailed it. I keep trying
Still
every
have
day.
vibes.
Yeah, I don't know how it is for you, you know? I don't know if it's the same. Is
Hiring is usually
it's
a big
tough,
problem.
right? Yeah.
Because at times you may have someone, and in the beginning, everything is good. There's that zeal, and then complacency comes.
Exactly. wanaanza kuzoea, they say, okay, no, she's nice, nini. Then they lose sight and you're like, okay, now I have to get somebody else. Because then now bringing them back is a whole other trip. So that's been one of my biggest ones, for sure. If I was to say another one, I'd probably say sourcing. Sourcing of raw materials. Given that it's a made in Kenya brand, I really made the decision to try and keep everything in the country, because I want to grow the fashion industry. I want to grow everything about it, whether it's the sourcing of raw materials, training, upskilling, whatever it is. I wanted to keep it in the country as much as possible. But then I think we got to a certain level where it's like you outgrow your suppliers. Maybe they can't give you the quantities you need. You find you're also competing with everybody else, because you know how Kenyans are. They see you doing something nice. They're like, okay, but me, I can do it. And so it sort of became a headache, trying to find that differentiating factor. So I'd say those are the two biggest challenges that we face. Yeah.
At this time?
Yes. At this time.
And before as a growing business?
I feel like those two have just grown themselves. They just grow. Like they're the ones that are top of mind for me. The hiring one maybe has gotten a bit easier because we now have processes and it's more than just me doing the hires. But the sourcing has always been an issue, till now. It's just that for me, I don't believe in giving up. So I'll just keep digging and digging and digging. Like, I feel like if there's anyone who knows everywhere to get fabric in this country, it's me. Like, I know every hole, every tochoro, everything, Yeah, so I'd say those two.
And what sets you apart from all these other fashion brands?
What sets us apart? I feel like for me, it becomes fashion at IKOJN has become more than just clothing, right? One of the biggest ones for me, like I mentioned, is the impact. Just knowing that for us, fashion is not just about looking good or, getting a nice pair of pants. You can get pants anywhere. But our consumer understands what we're doing and who we're doing it for. They see the impact we make, the value we bring. And so I think for them, that's a very clear, of course it's IKOJN. That's definitely one differentiator that I'm so proud of and I want to keep doing more of. My dream is to get to a point where even as we expand, because I do want to expand into other countries, even when we expand, I want to be able to get women in those countries producing IKOJN for their country, And it's just this whole, when you get people on your team who don't know much and you see their growth 2-3 years down the line, I think for me it's so beautiful to watch. It's actually the thing that keeps me going, and I want to do that for more and more women, So yeah, definitely I'd say that's our differentiator. And of course, like our customer service, we're so nice. Like I have to keep telling my team, like, guys, the customer is always right. Always speak to them with a smile. It's okay, even if they yell, you got this. But yeah, definitely I think our impact is up there. Yeah.
What's the one piece you've created and you're like, and it was well received by people and you're so proud of yourself?
So actually, I'm wearing it right now. I think once I remove this, you guys will see it. But I feel like one of our proudest pieces is the Olivia dress. Actually, it was mine. That was my idea. It was my idea. I know we had the design team, but it was me. But yeah, that's, I think, one of our bestseller standouts. Like everyone, we produced this piece, I can't even quite remember how many years ago. And we did it in different lengths, different colors. And to this day, people still love that piece. Everybody, of course, people have tried copying it. We've seen brands try to replicate, make it cheaper. But our customers will always see, they'll be like, okay, these guys are copying you guys, but theirs doesn't fit as good as yours, And so they keep coming back, they keep buying it. So I feel like that's the one piece that for me is like so iconic. Yeah, and I'd want to just like have it available always. Yeah.
It's always in stock?
Most of the time. Most of the time it's in stock. Different times it's in different colors, different lengths, but most of the times you'll find it. Yeah.
What inspires your designs?
So I think for me, inspiration comes from many places, right? But I think for me, the thing that inspires icon designs the most is making a woman feel beautiful and powerful and feminine at the same time. That's always the inspiration. Even with the design team, I'm like, okay, when a woman wears this outfit, how will she feel? And if she doesn't just feel like she owns the space, she doesn't feel like she's owning the room she walks in, we have to make it better. So I feel like our core inspo is the woman. That's who we're designing for. What's this? Guys, I'm such a star. I am though. Why am I shocked? Oh my God. Hey! No, you're convincing me with color, babe. You're convincing me with color.
Color is always good, especially the
Black is
subtle ones.
boring, yeah. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. So do you you dye this yourself? Yeah, you don't buy it like this.
No, we die.
This is so nice. Have you done color before on the show?
Have we? Yes, we did.
Nice.
Yes.
What do you think, guys? It's cute. And then like with the waves and the bounce, it's so pretty. What's your favorite kind of hair
Um,
or style?
something short.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like what do you call the one you have on?
this is curly.
It looks really good on you.
Thank you. But I'd go for a bob.
Okay.
I love a good bob.
Yeah. I feel like a bob makes me look old.
Really?
I don't know.
You haven't gotten a nice bob there.
Facts. That's what Ayuma said, guys. I haven't gotten a bob from here.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Why the name Icon?
So it's actually interesting, and not many people know this, but my second name is Njoki. So icon is Njoki spelled backwards, and the J is silent. Ew.
How did you
So,
come up with that?
Iconic. Truly, I was young and I was there. I was wondering, now what am I going to call this brand? I don't want anything fashions. I don't want anything clothing. Nothing like. And I didn't want it to be my name. But I still wanted it to have something that is me without being straightforward jockey fashions. You know. So I was just doodling on my thing, and I wrote my name, and then I turned the page. So when I turned it, I was like, okay, not bad. And I spelled it out, and hey, I was like, Sasa, how will you guys know how to pronounce this? I remember spitballing it around like my family and my friends. They were all just thinking, okay, they were all saying what everyone says these days, which I'll get to. But I don't know, I liked the curiosity and sort of like the confusion of like, how do I spell it? Because for me, I'm like, that's going to make it memorable. Because the minute you learn, you're
It's a
never going to
conversation
forget.
starter.
Exactly. And so the name is Icon, the J is silent. We hear it all the time. Guys say IKOJN, IKONJ. Guys, hear me and hear me. This is the last time I'm saying it. It's Icon, the J is silent. And I thought it was perfect because I really do want to make women feel iconic when they wear our clothes. So, yeah.
How is the fashion industry in Kenya?
To be honest, I feel like it's really, really grown a lot. You know, for me, I love seeing other made in Kenya brands. Even if it's not made in Kenya, I just love seeing other Kenyans starting up brands in Kenya, because one of my fears, or like one of the things I really don't want to happen, which pole is happening, but I really don't want to see outside brands, international brands coming in and taking up space that Kenyans can take up. And so for me, it's like, let's have more people start up made in Kenya brands. Let's have more Kenyans actually, because we are the ones who know what we want. We know our people and what they want. So let's have more Kenyan startup brands. And it's so beautiful to watch, especially women, like big up. Kenyan women starting fashion brands or any other brands, even you. Like, I just love how right now the Kenyan women are taking up space. I think it's just majestic. It's powerful. You know what it is? It's iconic. Yeah. So for me, it's like, let's build more on that. I think where we're struggling a lot is support, you know? I think a lot of support, especially now when it comes to what we're talking about, the sourcing, even sourcing from fellow African countries, because neighboring countries have a lot to offer that we don't have when it comes to raw materials, when it comes to, finishings. And I feel like if we can get a lot more support to weave or make those, channels easier for brands, I think it'll take the industry a lot further. And I think some policies as well need to be introduced to not only take care of the creatives, but also build them, expose them to new markets, show them that, it's not, you don't have to be small with your creativity. You can actually make a business of it, give them training, upskill them. I feel like a lot of that support is needed in the industry, but generally I love where we're headed. Yeah.
Do you experience copying of designs, and how do you handle it?
Yes, we do. We do. We experience a lot of copying. But for me, what I always say, first of all, what do they say? I don't know the word. What's the other word for copying? Imitation. They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? And so for me, if you copy me, I'm just like, okay, so you like what I'm doing, nice. But also, I know you're not gonna make a second move until I make my move. So you'll always wait for me to make a move before you make a move. And so you're always gonna be 2 steps behind me. And so I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, and then you'll always be behind me. So I don't take copying too seriously, because also I built this brand. My team and I, we create beautiful pieces on a daily basis. We can keep doing it. If they copy, that's fine. They can stay behind us, but I'm not worried about us, because we'll keep doing what we do best, which is create, give our customers value, and create impact.
So who's the most iconic person you've ever sold to a piece?
I wouldn't say it's one person, to be honest. It's taken us 10 years to get here. And the only reason we've gotten to this point is because of all of our customers. And so to me, all of our customers are iconic. Everybody who's ever shopped IKOJN, not even shopped, if you've ever interacted with the brand in any way, if you've engaged with our content, if you just clap for us on the sidelines, if you share anything, if you walk into our store to try on things, all of those, all those people are iconic to me. And it's just a dream of mine that I'm able to do this every day and create for them every day, and to have them actually wear the brand and feel iconic every day.
What responsibility does Made in Kenya come with? Like a Made in Kenya brand?
Yeah, as a brand owner. I think for me, the biggest one is, number one, knowing that you're creating employment. I think that's a big one for me, because it's easy to create any brand and have it even made outside and just shipped here and you sell. But I think for me, when I made that decision to actually have IKOJN as a Made in Kenya brand, one of the big responsibilities that I knew straight on was that I'm going to be creating employment. And as I'm doing that, it needs to be fair wage. It needs to be good working conditions. I need to make sure that the team I have working with me to build this brand are actually also growing at the same time, So I think for me, as an employer and as a founder, making sure I'm taking the team with me as we're growing. Yeah, that's a big one.
Interesting. So how has content creation, you being a creator, boosted your brand?
It's actually interesting. It started with me creating content for the IKOJN brand. So IKOJN actually came before Cris, right? And I remember I used to create a lot of content for IKOJN. And then during that journey, I think I'd say probably 4 years into the, IKOJN journey and creating content for IKOJN, I was like, okay, I think there's a chance here for me to be able to share my story as a founder, but on my personal platform. And so that's what happened. I decided, okay, let me open my own personal page and then be able to share my experience, building this brand. Now, these are 2 separate brands. There's my personal brand and there's the IKOJN brand. I think they really feed off each other for sure, because you have a lot of IKOJN customers who have actually come from the Cris brand, and they love the IKOJN brand because they love what I stand for as Cris. You know, they love that I'm a business owner and I'm building this from scratch, and I'll share my experiences, and that actually impacts them to where they're like, okay, I believe in her, I believe in the brand, so let's do this. How has it helped grow IKOJN? I think it's been one of our biggest, you know, how do I say it? It's been one of our biggest like channels to reach our consumer and to be able to communicate. I loved it from the beginning, even when I started thrifting. Remember when I started selling the dresses for 800? Once I put them on Facebook and I was able to sell them to people I'd never seen, I think that's when I had that light bulb moment that showed me that if you're able to communicate online to people who cannot see or touch, then you can run a business, you know? And so even after thrifting, getting into IKOJN, getting onto different platforms, it became such a core part of growing the brand where we're like, Sawa, we have a great product, but let's see how we can communicate this product and our values and our impact online before someone even touches this dress, before they even try it on. We want to be able to communicate that. And then later we were able to open our stores, which has been a great journey in its own. But I think social media really played a big role, you know, in how we were able to shape our communication to our consumer and to the public, yeah.
Has it always been IKOJN since thrifting?
The name?
Yeah.
No.
What
What-
was it before?
Thrifting, what was it called? Something threads. No, what was it called? It had a name. How can I forget this? There was a name. Yo, I forgot. No, IKOJN. IKOJN. IKOJN is for icon. IKOJN is iconic. But I remember at that time, I'd already started playing around with the idea of the name. But in my mind, I knew I didn't want IKOJN to belong to anything else, but I wanted it to belong to like this brand that we're creating from scratch. Yeah, yeah. What a name. Watch out. I'll remember it and then I'll drop it in the comments.
What are some of the behind the scenes reality of sourcing and production?
I think, especially for sourcing, you remember how I was saying that people have this vision of fashion and it's like all glam and, you know, cute clothes and modeling and things. The reality of sourcing in Kenya, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Njoki with a hat or a kitamba and just a t-shirt, jeans and some sneakers. Uko deep, you know. Sometimes I'll meet with guys deep in the market sourcing for fabric. And they'll still say hi, but then I'm sure they usually have this look in them and they say, oh my God, wow, I never thought I could see you like that. But I think for me, I like that because I feel like I'm on the hunt, you know, because I'm always like hunting for gold and like I'm always hunting for this like hidden gems. But the reality truly for sourcing is you need to go down like when you're sourcing for raw materials in Kenya, you can't do it online. It's not a place you can find at on IG. It's not a place you can go and like search on the internet. Kwa ground, you know, and of course, kwa ground you can't be Facebook like this with a nice wig, and you know, you be as the Romans, you know. But I'd say that's like behind the scenes of sourcing. I'd say production is a lot of trial and error, you know. Sometimes you see the finished product and you won't see everything that goes behind the scenes. I mean, I'm sure even with my team, if you ask them, by the time you're seeing a collection put out, there's been so many back and forths. So many samples have been made, arguments, like literally so much has happened before the final product gets there. But it just goes to show the passion, you know, for the team to just want a superior product. Before we even put anything in the store or available on the website, the quality that it has to go through, the checks, it's a lot. But for me, it's just like, it just shows that everybody is really involved in that process, and we want to make sure and maintain the quality and standard that IKOJN has set in the industry, and we want to make sure we just keep pushing that envelope.
So when it comes to social media and
Yeah.
you putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
have you ever been trolled? And how did you deal with it?
I mean, who hasn't been trolled on social? Are you very public on social media yourself? Yes. Have you ever been trolled?
I don't think I have.
Guys. Look, I mean, I feel like it's it's part of the process for sure. I think the minute you make your life public and you open yourself up to social, that's already something you know might happen. And it's happened to me a couple of times. I
Really?
would say, yeah. I would say it's not, as brutal as I've seen others experience, but definitely you feel like your life is under spotlight, And I think the biggest thing for me is because I really do enjoy life and I want to be able to live it to its fullest. I think just always feeling like there's somebody looking at you sometimes can get exhausting. That's the only thing I'd say. But all in all, I'd say my community on social, they're actually very caring. And they're some of the sweetest people I've met have been through social media. They're so supportive, even when, maybe I'm going through something that, has been made public. They're the ones who come into my DMs to see how I'm doing, offer support where they can. Truly, I am very grateful for my community on social. The trolling I've experienced hasn't been that bad. It's just, I'll see something, maybe somebody said something on Twitter. But if I just keep quiet after like a day, it's gone. It's nothing actually horrendous. And so I'm lucky. I'm lucky for the community that I've built. It's not that bad. Ibaki wevo too. Yeah.
Do you think for someone who wants to start a business, how important is it to put yourself out there as a founder?
So what I'd say is initially it wasn't, Initially, I'd say probably like 2-3 years ago, founders didn't have to put themselves on social. You could just have a premium product, you could have a premium service, you offer it, people come, end of story. But I feel like now we're shifting because you're finding actually the current influencers are the ones who are offering information, right? And so people want to buy from a founder instead of just buying from a brand and from a business. They want to feel that emotional connection. They want to know, okay, how did you do this? They want to know what you had for breakfast. I feel like even if you choose not to share it, it'll probably give you more if you do, because then right now with so much choice, right? Even if we just look at IKOJN, there's so many places you could get a pair of pants. Not even locally, even internationally. But you will find that many shoppers now, they'll be like, okay, what's making me get that pair of pants from that brand? And it's because they're connecting with the founder. They've seen how you've come up. They've seen the growth. There's no shady business you've done, no kunyuma, It's not like you're washing money or whatever. I feel like right now is actually the time as a founder to really capitalize on using your story to actually connect more with your customer. It can be daunting, but guys, you won't die. Fanya too. Of course, I think still, even if you're going to show your life on social, keep some things to yourself. Have those things that are special to you. Don't show everything. Also, if you want to show everything, that's fine. make your choices, it's okay. But I would say definitely, I think founders now need to be more vocal, because then you also become a source of inspiration. Anybody else who's looking to do something that you've done, I think being able to share that part of your story could go a long way in inspiring, a girl somewhere who thinks it's not possible. Yeah.
So how do you scale to appoint your stocking in different countries?
Like, how did I get there?
Yes.
So for me, it's been a dream, right? I feel like even where we are right now with IKOJN, we're not even scratching the surface. I envision IKOJN as an African brand, okay? An African brand made by African women, dressing African women. And so that means we need to step outside our comfort zone. We need to step outside of Kenya. The market here is great, but it's like this. So I'm thinking bigger vision. We need to go into our neighboring countries. We need to go outside into the West, into the South. And, I have to think about it from a business perspective, where instead of going in there, investing so much capital and setting up shop, why can't we get partners who then help us start getting some visibility, right? And so we got partners in different parts of Africa. And it's just, had a conversation with them, talked about stocking IKOJN in their locations in those countries. And then, of course, have some agreement. It differs between different people. But then that already starts, making you visible to the audiences there before having to like invest a lot of money, right? And so that's what we're doing currently. And we've already been able to see markets that are very, very promising. And then now the next step after that will be now putting in some of that cash flow, doing more, maybe having some pop-ups, eventually setting up locations there, even having websites and e-commerce platforms targeted specifically for those locations. But to be honest, it starts with a conversation. It starts with networking. You never know who you're meeting. You never know any event you go for. Talk about your product. Talk about you. Talk about what you do. Because there's people out there who literally, you will tell your story, they'll connect with it so much, and they'll just want to help you. So I think as a founder, be vocal about what you do. Share it. Again, back to social media. You never know who's not seeing your post. Talk about your product. Talk about what you're doing. Talk about your plans. It doesn't have to be everything being shared, but you never know who's going to see that post and connect with it and want to help you achieve your dream.
Interesting. What would you tell someone who wants to join the industry?
I'd say first and foremost, have a clear vision in mind, right? Not every vision is the same. People have different visions for their brands, for their businesses. I want to be an African brand. Somebody else might just want to have a cute little clothing boutique within their neighborhood, just enough to sustain them, and that's okay, But be very clear on what your vision is and stick to it. No one else will understand it more than you, but it needs to be very clear and just get tunnel vision. I always say, it's not about how hard or how good you are at doing something. It's about how long you can do it consistently. If you do one small thing every single day for 10 years, you're going to go further than someone who does it for a year and does it super aggressively. So don't think about the end. Try and cut it down into things you can do every single day, bite size, Yes, the vision is huge, but see how you can break it down into daily habits. And then that gets into weekly, monthly, set small, small goals, but then eventually it'll get you to where you need to go. Girl, that hair. Oh my God. Hi, did someone say Beyonce?
Can you see
No.
without your glasses?
My glasses are for show, babes. They're not lensed. That is so sweet. They're not lensed. Oh my gosh. They're to make me look smarter. I know I'm smart, but like sometimes you just want to look like you know what you're saying, It's so cute. I can see. I can see very clearly.
No, I was asking because me, I can't see.
Yeah. So can you see how good I look? Can you see
From
how
the
good?
mirror?
Can you see how good you've done my hair?
Okay, that I can see because I'm up close.
Okay. No, this looks amazing. Oh my God. What color is this? What color do you call this?
This is honey brown.
Honey.
Or chestnut.
Honey. This is nice, guys. Hey, what do you think? My God.
I was asking,
Pendeza.
where do you see IKOJN in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years. To be honest, I don't like making super grand. No, not super grand. I don't like making plans that are too far off because anything could happen in between,
True.
right? I like having a grand vision at the end and then doing like monthly and yearly targets, right? 5-year plan, I can say something now, but then who knows what's going to happen in a year, 2 years, 3 years, I know eventually I want IKOJN to be the African brand, both on e-com and in store. That's what I know, right? Now, it's up to me and the team to set goals every month, every year to achieve that target. But definitely, it's to make IKOJN the household apparel fashion name in Africa.
What would you tell 10-year-old Cris?
10-year-old Cris. Let me see. What was 10-year-old Cris doing, by the way? She was somewhere making noise, probably, and eating cake. What would I tell her? I think I'd tell her never to lose her optimism, even when things look like they're failing, even when things look like, it's just not working out, like the world is against you. Never ever lose that optimism because it's the thing that will carry you forward when times are tough. Yeah, never lose that. Never lose that spark.
What do you think about our hair?
I love it so much. Oh my goodness.
Where would
This
you wear
is
it to?
beautiful, like everywhere. This is so nice. I love the volume. And I think the color for me, hey guys, umekula hapa, umekula yote. No, this is really good.
You look so good.
Right? Oh my gosh, please guys, where's the applause? What? Oh, this is beautiful. Aish. Ayuma, sawa, sawa. We accept, we accept. We
you.
accept. This is very nice. Nakwambia. I
feel
hope you're
like-
insured.
I am. It was so nice having you. And I
Thank
feel like we
you.
haven't exhausted.
Yes.
And I need you back at my seat
Part
sometime.
two.
Part 2.
We do another color. We can do a red next
Okay.
time. Hey, now I'm feeling adventurous. I'm like, come on, give it to me.
Thank you so
This
much,
is
Cris,
nice.
for
Thanks for
coming.
having me. And thank you for letting me share my story.
That's fine.
Hi, Njoki.
Hi.
You're looking stunning.
Iconic, baby.
Period. Sneakers or heels?
I used to be a heels girly, but now with the comfort, sneakers.
First thing you notice when you meet someone?
First thing I noticed, let's see, how they talk to other people.
Oh, that's sharp. One Kenyan phrase you overuse?
As in,
As in?
as in.
A small luxury you can't live without.
Oh, wow. A small luxury that I cannot live without would probably be, hey guys, that hard. Okay, lip balm.
Lip balm.
Yeah.
What's your go-to outfit when you're not designing?
When I'm not designing,
Yes.
probably a short wrap dress. Yeah, a short wrap dress. Or a shirt dress, a short shirt dress.
Period. A fashion trend you secretly love?
Secretly love
Yes.
sneakers with everything.
A fashion trend you'd never bring back?
Oh my God, bubble skirts. Bubble near champagne, or share champagne.
If IKOJN was a person, how would you describe her?
She's feminine. She's assertive. She knows what she wants and she goes for her goals. And she has that inner power, that feminine, quiet power. Yeah.
A country or city that changed how you see fashion?
I think I'd say France. Yeah.
A quote you live by?
A quote I live by: the minute you stop to grow, you begin to die.
Your proudest business moment so far?
Hey, when we made it to 10 years, guys. 10 years.
Congratulations. A book or film that shaped your creativity?
One of my favorite books is called Girl Boss by Sophia Maruso. Shout out. She literally we've had the same story, and every time I read that book, I've read it so many times, but every time I read it, it reignites my passion for what I do.
A color that feels like you?
Can I say the color of my hair right now?
Yes, you can.
This is honey brown, guys. It's chestnut. Hey, this is my color from now on.
Period. Your biggest pet peeve?
I think my biggest pet peeve is not being able to own up to your decisions and your choices.
Something people would be surprised to know you enjoy.
Let's see. I feel like I know a couple. I love eating my pineapple with chili sauce. I love it so much. It's like my favorite way to eat it.
What sparks your creativity instantly?
Travel.
Icon in 3 words.
Woman. Impact. Power.
Someone in fashion or business you look up to.
Sophia Maruso.
Describe your mood right now.
My mood? I feel energetic. Despite having been up for I don't know how many hours, since 5 a.m., I feel very energetic.
And you look like it.
Hey, arriba.
Finish this sentence.
Uh-huh.
Cris Njoki is...
Iconic!
Period. So we've come to the end of our quick fire questions. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Continue staying awesome.
Hey, and iconic, babes.
Bye.
As in?
As in, bye.